guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's student Tonia. I make study videos as well as videos based on student lifestyle. If you like that sort of content, then make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So as you can tell from the title, today I'll be sharing with you guys what's on my iPhone. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So now just talking about my screensaver, yes, it's actually a Formula 1 car. It's Team Red Bull. I was actually so into Formula 1 for a couple of weeks into quarantine after I watched this really good documentary called Drive to Survive. It was such a good documentary. Whether you're into Formula 1 or not, you should just go watch it. Really good. Once I unlock my phone, so this is the first page that I see. This just has a bunch of apps on here. Most of them are apps that I already downloaded onto the phone, and there's just like a few apps that I already downloaded myself on this page. The next page is where all my collections are. Then the other page is my widgets page. I barely look at my widgets page, I really don't. Now my background color is just a neutral solid grey color. I absolutely love it. I've actually been obsessed with the whole neutral colour scheme, as that's what I'm trying to achieve with my channel art and on my thumbnails. And then at the bottom of the corner, it just has some little tree design with birds just coming off. Okay, now the first app I want to talk about is an app that's already downloaded, but just before we really start talking about the apps, I'm only going to be talking about apps that I actually use. So first of all, I'll be talking about Apple Podcasts. I actually don't use that app that often, but I really want to get into it. What made me want to get into it back again was I think I saw some sort of advertisement for this podcast about the untold story of Dior, Christian Dior. And I love anything to do with history, so that is absolutely great. Just scrolling through the app, there are some podcasts that I listened to back when I was doing my mock exams. So that was the GCSE podcast and the A-level podcast. So I would listen to that on my way to school and back. Next is my 3 app. It's because of my SIM card. I barely look at this app, but there was a time where they were doing some really good deals where where you were allowed to get like a free Domino's pizza, but me and my friends, we honestly mocked it. We would get so much free pizza all the time, and I think they cancelled the whole thing now. It's like this reward scheme, I think. I know Vodafone does it, and what they do, they'll normally promote cheap cinema tickets. Like I've been to cinemas quite a couple of times only because their tickets were for cheap. Next is the Fonts app. I actually do use this, not too often, but an example of where I've used this was in my Instagram bio. I really like having different fonts in the bio. I don't know, it just kind of makes it look more aesthetic. I don't know. The next app I have is a zip extractor. The reason why I had this is because one of my favorite Instagrammers, which I will showcase her page somewhere in this video, I absolutely love her Instagram feed. She's like a very vintage-esque sort of person, and believe it or not, I'm a big fan of the vintage 1920s. 50s and 60s are actually my favorite eras. Yeah, and there's some certain LUTs that she uses on her photos, and I wanted to get them, but I couldn't, so I had to use a zip extractor. And I just want to leave this on my phone just in case I need to extract something like from my files, so that's why I have that. Now going on to my collections. So this is my whole collection page, and this is how I organize it. I don't organize it by color scheme, which I used to do, but I just found it easier just having the apps organized by what the app is used for. I just found it much more simpler than organizing it by color scheme. So in my education collection, the first app that you'll see is Solo Learn. It's basically this app that teaches you how to code. Particularly I'm learning Python and JavaScript. Coding, well, is a skill that I decided I wanted to take up during quarantine, and it's becoming such a big thing now, and apparently coding can lead you down to a lot of things. Next, I have Snap Revise. If you haven't already watched my previous video, I talked about my study routine featuring Snap Revise. I'll have it linked in the iCards and in the description box down below. This is what I use to learn my A-level content. I explain more in depth about how I use this in my previous video, so definitely go watch after this video. Duolingo. Pretty sure everyone has heard of this app. If you haven't already, it is just basically a language learning app. I took Spanish for 2 years in year 7 and 8, and I really wish I took it more seriously because it was something I actually wanted to learn. But something that I've been trying to learn for the past couple of weeks is my German. I really need to pick up my German back again. If you didn't know, I'm not born in the UK, I'm actually born in Austria. The next app I'm going to talk about is linked to Duolingo, and it's basically called Tiny Cards, and it's basically a flashcard app for Duolingo, and it just has words and phrases on these cards so you can just quickly recall them, which is absolutely great. The next app is called Innovative, I don't know. I actually use this for my German learning. Next is Brainscape. So this is basically a Quizlet, like a flashcard app, but I just love the system better than Quizlet. What I really love about it, so you just go on a topic and you just recall the information, and from a scale of 1 to 5, you just pick if you get it or not. If you get it, obviously the card isn't going to come up again, but if you don't, it will make sure that card will pop up more often. I use this for my GCSEs. It did help. Sometimes I just don't like looking at a screen all the time as technology, because I already do that. So sometimes I actually like to have like the physical flashcard. Next is Google Translate, and it is so helpful when it comes to language learning. It honestly is. My favorite feature is, say that I'm learning German, which I actually am, and if I go on the voice section, like tap on the microphone, and I just say something, and if Google picks that up correctly, I think it's a great way just to know whether you're pronouncing something right. If you don't have like a teacher, like a one-to-one teacher, and you're learning by yourself, I highly recommend you get Google Translate. It's really good. Now going on to social media, there's some apps which I literally don't use. I have Instagram, I have Snapchat. I'm just not going to go through them because pretty much everyone knows what they are and has it. But Twitter, I actually don't use Twitter. I only use it for making my threads. Next is Pinterest, and I absolutely love Pinterest. I have so many boards on here. Pinterest is this app. It's the app that I don't use to get people to follow me. It's something that I just use personally for myself, for my own inspiration. But one of my favorite things to look at, I think I already mentioned this in this video, but I'm such a vintage person. Like, I absolutely love the vintage. I just want to share one of my favorite collections with you. It's my car collection. I say car collection as if I own these cars, but soon come, I don't own them yet. Next, going on to my YouTube editing collection. The first app that you see is Vilo, and honestly, it is such a good app. I think it's the best editing app that you could get for free. I would say if you're beginning to editing, just skip iMovie, go on Vilo. The only thing that Vilo can't do that iMovie does for free is layering videos. Next is Fonto, and I use this for my thumbnails. Next, I have YouTube Studio, and obviously I use this because I have a YouTube channel, and this is where I reply to comments, and this is where I upload my thumbnails. InShot. I accidentally bought InShot. I'm so annoyed, it's such a waste of money. But it was basically a free 3-day trial, and I don't know if I went over, but I really wanted to get a refund, but I never, went to get a refund, just because this is kind of my fault sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with the app. I actually should have got a refund. Just deeping it, thinking about it, I actually should have got a refund, but we move. But it was like a year subscription for like £12. And the only reason why I got it was because you can color grade. Well, it wasn't even color grading. Okay, it was color grading, so you could put filters in that, but the color grading was very basic. Like a photo editing app, the way how you could change the exposure, contrast, that's what InShot could do, but it wasn't as advanced. Next, I have PixArt. I use it to fit the size of a picture, to fit the YouTube dimensions for thumbnails. Next is iMovie, which I don't use anymore. Maybe for like really quick edits, but not for YouTube. It's probably just something for myself. Next is Dolby, which I use for my voiceovers, which I haven't actually used in a video yet. So I probably might be using this for this video or future videos to come until I get a mic, because I really need to get a mic. Then I probably don't think I'll be using Dolby. Next, I have a video downloader. This is not an app. It's basically a website, but you can like create it into an app so you can have easy access to it. And this is where I get all my green screens, download videos, download audio. This is the website that I use to just do everything. I have tried so many video downloader websites or audio downloader websites, and it'll be so annoying when you download it and it literally just spams your phone with a bunch of ads and just some weird things saying your phone's got a virus and everything. Like, it's just so annoying. But this app does not do that. It actually just gets the job done. Now onto an app that I'm so excited that I got. It's LuaFusion. I have been eyeing this app for the longest time. I even put it on my Instagram story and people are like, yo, you're actually gonna buy that? Yes, it was a whole £29, but I had to get it. I really did. It is an advanced editing app. Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve, they are really good editing apps. Like, my laptop is so slow. It would take like 200 hours just to import a video onto the software. And I really want to produce the best quality video for you guys. I really do. So that's why I went my way to buy it. Now going on to finance. So the first two apps, which is Plus 500 and Stock Sim. These are basically stock simulators and it helps you understand the stock market more. If investing is something that you want to do, which I definitely know something I want to do, so that really helps out. Then the next app, Investing in Stocks, which literally is like a free app which really in detail explains the stock market, how it is. And speaking of investing in stocks, a really good channel which is Patricia's Bright Extension channel, and she really talks about multiple streams of income, investing in stocks and finance. You should definitely go check it out. It's really good. Next is the Stocks app, which is already downloaded onto my iPhone, and it's just something I like to do just to check on how the stocks are doing. Next is Parent Pay, and this is an app for school. This is where I buy all my school meals, since we just do it electronically now, and obviously we use like the fingerprint thing, and it's just to pay for anything to do with school, whether that's revision guides, school trips, etc. PayPal, I actually don't use it. HSBC, basically my bank app, nothing too much to say about that. Now going on to productivity, the first app that you see is Gmail. I use this quite a lot. I feel like having an email is just mandatory, whether you're signing up to get a newsletter from your favorite shop, or just like if you want a new account or like an account to a game, you always have to use an email. So I love Gmail. I love it better than the Apple mail system. Yeah, I prefer Gmail. Also, my Notes app. I literally use my Notes app every single day. I almost have like 200 notes written down. And I just love this app. It's because whenever I have a thought on the go, or I find some inspiration and I just want to write it down quickly and I don't have a pen and paper near me, I can just type it up on my phone. Such a simple app, but effective. Love it. Next, I have Outlook, and this is what I use for my school email. I have this countdown app. I don't know why I got it. I actually got it because I wanted to see how many days it was till my birthday, because my birthday's already went in April. And I actually might use it in the future for future events that are coming up. Next is a calendar, and obviously I just use this just to, put in events and dates, and if I'm going somewhere, I just have that. And the Reminders app, which I use like all the time. I absolutely love the Reminders app. I use this for my YouTube scheduling, I call it pre-production and post-production, so before I film and edit and then after. I use this for my daily to-do list as well. And this is an app that's built in. Next, going on to my photo editing. I have Lightroom, which I don't use that much, but I really want to get into it because there are some certain features that I really need for my photo editing, such as like if you have a photo and there's some certain colors in that photo you want to enhance specifically, not the whole thing. Lightroom has that feature. I can't find any other apps that has that feature, but unfortunately you have to pay for that feature, I think, which is so unfortunate. And the reason why I downloaded it in the first place, because speaking of that Instagrammer which I showed, who's like very vintage-esque, her LUTs, she was actually giving them out for free, and I wanted to get her LUTs and I had to download Lightroom for that. The next following two apps are my ultimate photo editing powerhouse right there. Like mitochondria is a powerhouse of a cell. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or not. Facetune, I absolutely love it. I don't know if you have to pay for this. I can't remember if I paid for this or not, but it's a really good app, Facetune. And then I have Visco, and with Visco, I actually don't use the filters or presets already on there. I actually just manually do it. So I just do the exposure, temperature, saturation, just like any other editing app. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And then I have the Unfold app, which is actually an app that I use for, well, it's specifically supposed to be used for your Instagram story, which I do use it for, but I also use it for Snapchat as well, for when I'm promoting a new video. It's a really cute, the layouts are really nice and simple, but you do have to pay to unlock the other features, which I don't need to pay because I already like the features that are for free on that app, so I have that. Now going on to entertainment, and I know the first app that you see, TikTok. Honestly, if you're really close to me, you're my friend, you're watching this, you know that I have told you that you won't catch me slacking on that app. Like, you just won't. Like, even before the app blew up, I just knew there was something booky about it. And I was not wrong, as you've probably seen so many videos on YouTube about how TikTok is like racist and everything, which is actually true. There's just like some dark side to TikTok, which I'm just not for. But I actually decided to download it. But you won't catch me slacking on it. I won't be making a TikTok. I don't know. I just, TikTok, I really don't know. What's good about TikTok, I absolutely love the creative side to it. The sort of TikToks I like to watch is anything to do with finance. I think there's this whole trend called Help Out New Businesses Check, where people just show where they get their packaging and everything from, which is so cute. And I love their photography hacks and tricks. One of my favorite TikToks is hidden locations in like London or in Birmingham or just anywhere in the UK, because that's where I live. I absolutely love those TikToks. So that's what I use TikTok for. I just don't post them. So obviously I have YouTube and Netflix, and I'm actually looking for some really good new Netflix shows. I mean, I have started watching The Crown, but I'm really looking for like vintage-esque sort of Netflix shows. Like Netflix shows that are not set in the modern period, like probably set in like the 80s or the 20s, because I absolutely love watching Peaky Blinders. I'm actually going to watch it all over again because it's that good, and it's only been like a couple of weeks since I finished it. I binged watched that like it was no tomorrow. Such a good show. Next is this app called Amino. I remember maybe like a couple of years ago, okay, not a couple of years, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I downloaded this, but just for fun. But it's actually, I haven't used it that often to say it's a good app. From just going on it and just seeing what it's about, it's actually kind of a dope app. So Amino is basically apps for communities. When I say there is literally a community for anything and everything on this app, it's so niche down. So say that if you like gaming, there'll be a gaming community. But not only gaming, there will be simulator gaming, Xbox gaming, PlayStation gaming, or Wii Nintendo gaming, or PC gaming. And not only that, it's going to be further niche down. So maybe if there's a particular game that you like, for example, like Fortnite game community, this community, it just gets niched down even more. If you're into making wood sculptures, there's a community for you. I think it's just such a great app that anyone can get. But obviously, like, you want to be careful at interacting with these people, but I think it's a nice way just to find like people who have similar interests in you. But again, I can't really speak too much about it because I personally haven't used it that often. Next is Spotify. So I need some music recommendation, guys. Comment down below some music recommendations. I actually listen to anything, I really do. But yeah, now going on to my music collection. The first app that you see is Chordify. This app is for piano players, ukulele and guitar players. If you search up any song, they will literally have the chords for it. And not only do they have the chords, the song or the music video to the song will play as the chords will show up on the timeline sort of thing, and it will show you what chords you have to play and when you have to play them and how many times you play them. I think this is such an easy way just to learn your favorite songs. Next is my notes trainer, and this is what I use to practice my piano theory, just so I can read music better. Perfect ear. It helps you practice hearing music better. And I was watching this video and I heard that some people can learn to play a new instrument just from hearing. I thought this phenomenon was actually kind of cool and interesting. You must be like gifted to be able to just learn a new instrument just from hearing. And I heard that this skill can be quite difficult, but it's a skill that you can develop. And it's actually something that I'm starting to develop and pick up. Like now when I play the keyboard, without even looking at my finger formation, I can just tell when a note just sounds off and I'm just like, oof, no, that note was not played right. So that's why I have that app. Next, going on to my church collection. So every Sunday, with a separate church, I do have some online church. I do online church, so that's why I have GoToMeeting. I have the Bible app, like the virtual Bible app, because it's just really easy to navigate. Then sometimes picking up a Bible, and if you still can't find your way to navigate like the Bible, because there's just so many books in the Bible, then the Bible app is really helpful. Going on to utilities, but the only apps I use is the voice memo and the calculator. I use voice memo a lot. I have so many voice memos recorded, and I use this because sometimes I just like pretend to do YouTube video, or if I do have a YouTube video idea and I've already got like the script and what I'm going to say in my head, then I'll just go and record it. Because sometimes when I'm about to film, sometimes I'm like, oh, what am I going to say for this video? And I'll just listen to my voice recording. Going on to travel, I have the Uber app. I only have this on there because if I delete it, I don't know my login details, so I just have it there. Apple Maps, which I actually prefer Google Maps, so I actually should get that instead. So the last collection that I have is my shopping collection. I have the Amazon app, which I literally will get anything from Amazon apart from clothing. And then I have ShopTagger. It's a really good app, and basically if there's like a clothing item that you want and it's not on sale, you basically put it onto your ShopTagger cart, and ShopTagger will give you notification for when that goes on sale. Okay, that is pretty much it. So that comes to the end of my what's on my iPhone video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to follow my social media. Links will be in the description box down below. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.